Today we're at Jean's Trailhead on Calico Basin Road, and we're going to make another attempt at Damsel Peak end to end from the southern to the northern summit. This is a long approach route due to the parking problems on Far Hills Avenue in the Summerlin area. It's sunrise, could be a marathon of 30 miles and 3,000 feet elevation gain, but it's going to be an awesome wilderness immersion day. We're going to need every bit of sunlight. So just now beginning to see the trails. Let's get started. And we start out today on a trail that sounds like a wrestling hold. It's the Half Wilson Trail. Here we go. We're in a good spot to get some perspective. So here you're looking at the Calico Basin where we began, down toward Jean's Trailhead on Calico Basin Road. You can see the Rainbow Mountains beginning to light up in the sunrise. There's Blue Diamond Hill. Then over this way toward the sunrise, circling around to the Las Vegas Valley, which is still lit up with night lights. And the Half Wilson Trail, which we are on, circling around Horse Peak. And around the right side of Horse Peak, we will enter the Brownstone Basin and continue onward, circling around toward, there's Damsel Peak. That is our goal. You see the southern summit, well, you see the Southern Pinnacle just below the southern summit. Southern summit is on the right, northern summit is on the left. The Southern Pinnacle is that what looks like a small pinnacle bump there to the right of the southern summit. We're going to circle around, enter the southeast canyon of Damsel Peak, head up that ridge that you can see to the Southeastern Pinnacle there, up to the southeastern summit, then over to the northwestern summit, down and around at the base on the right is a beautiful little area called Little Red Rock. So that is pretty much in a nutshell what we're going to do. And what you can see here is Craft Mountain in the foreground, La Madre Mountain, cliff line in the background, Trailhead Peak, that little sharp peak. Then back over to Calico Basin, Calico Hills. So there you have it. That's the summary of what we intend to do now. I think I said it's a 30-mile potential marathon here with 3,000 feet elevation gain. So whether we actually make it or not is a big question, but let's go ahead, give it a shot. Continuing along the Half Wilson Trail, as I mentioned, we're going to circle Horse Peak. There is Horse Peak. And then around to an awesome sunrise shot of the Rainbow Mountains and Blue Diamond Hill. And it'll get even better, but we will hopefully be beyond sight of the Rainbow Mountains by the time the sun really paints those mountains. Okay, continuing toward Brownstone Basin. Okay, we circled Horse Peak, still on the Half Wilson Trail, but that trail is going to peter out really soon as we enter this wash and figure out how to circle this next peak. Looks pretty easy, but what I want to do today is what I call follow the dots. So I set markers on my CalTopo app that will help us find the most direct, easiest route so that we can conserve energy and get further faster. So let's see how that all works out. Going from marker to marker, follow the dots. We're looking at the first target, the mouth of the Southeastern Canyon. There it is, right ahead. And I gave myself 2 hours to get there. And so far, it's only been 45 minutes. So making some good time. We'll see how long it takes to get there. Distance is deceiving in the desert. So who knows? That could be longer than what I've done so far. There's the La Madre Mountains, La Madre on the right, El Padre on the left. Here's Gray Cap Ridge. And over here is Craft Mountain. And then circling around, this is still the base of Horse Peak. And then you can see sun is rising. Timing has been perfect today so far. So everything's looking great. And there on the horizon, you'll see more of it, is Summerland Ridge. And there, I guess, is a mountain called Gottlieb. So anyway, yeah, let's continue on to the base of the Southeastern Canyon of Damsel Peak. And by the way, yes, Pinnacle on the right, Southern Summit on the left, and then further to the left is the Northern Summit, actually southeast to northwest orientation. Okay, let's keep up the momentum. Well, welcome to Brownstone Basin. There is the Gray Cap ridgeline toward Gray Cap Peak, which would be on the right. La Madre Mountains, La Madre on the right, El Padre on the left, and here's Damsel Peak, entrance to the Southeastern Canyon, and then up that slope to the Southeast Pinnacle, and then above it to the left is the Southeast Summit. And then the Northwest Summit is going to be further on somewhere in this direction. Maybe that's it. So there you have it. And the question is how to get over to the entrance to that canyon without having to descend and ascend a whole lot of intervening ridges. And a key seems to be to follow the dots. And the dots lead me along, hopefully, trails. Actually, they've led me to this point so far, which is a nice wash, though the gravel is a bit deep. And so now we're looking for trails. So here we go. Well, this is working well. The dots have brought me to this cairn and this road ahead. And yes, it looks like a little roundabout way to get to the mouth of that canyon, which is right here, the Southeast Canyon. However, if I can be on trails, paths, roads, whatever this is, that guides me over the intervening ridge lines. That's a good thing, and that will really help, even though it's a little longer, but I'm not doing a whole lot of traversing washes and ridges. So yeah, here you can see Summerlin Peak, Gottlieb, and in the foreground there is Little Red Rock. Actually, it's a lot bigger than it looks. It looks like a little patchwork of red rocks, but when you're in there, the red rocks are huge and it's very beautiful. In fact, we'll be coming on the return trip through Little Red Rock if we actually make this entire end to end. So yeah, in the entrance of the canyon, up this ridge to the southeast pinnacle, to the southeast summit, and then across to the north summit, down a ridge line toward Little Red Rock. And that ridge looks very gradual, so it should be fast. And speaking of fast, the way I'm keeping up my pace is that everything that is slightly uphill or even or downhill as far as elevation or as far as incline, I run. And that means that I'll be running more than half the course, which if I can hold out, yes, that will save a lot of time. Okay, so La Madre Ridgeline, Gray Cap Ridgeline. There's a good shot of Mount Wilson. And you can see adventures and directions on how to get to all these reference points that I've been pointing out. There is Potosi Mountain. Wait. There it is. Yeah, Potosi Mountain. And to the left, went a little too fast there, is Blue Diamond Hill. And then around into the sunrise, the Las Vegas Valley. And by the time we return, it'll be later in the afternoon, early evening. We want to be back here while it's still light. But by the time we return, yeah, the Vegas Valley and the Strip is just going to be spectacular. Okay, so around again, Summerlin Ridge, Gottlieb, Little Red Rock, and our target canyon, Southeast Canyon. Here we go. Okay, I see a road connection below, and that looks like it's on course. So let's hit that road, take us over the next couple ridges to what I call Toyota Ridge, and you'll see why in a moment. And then just looking around, yeah, Summerlin Ridge, Gottlieb on the left, Little Red Rock. There it is. And you see how it's getting larger as you get closer. These formations are huge when you're right there. And then here is the entrance to the Southeast Canyon. We're going to go up the southeast slope to the Southeast Pinnacle and then continue upward to, oh, there's the Southeast Pinnacle, sorry. Continue upward to the Southeast Summit. We're going to circle around the right side of that pinnacle and then on up. We'll see how that all plays out. And looking around, Turtlehead Peak. There's the backside of Turtlehead Peak. And of course, the Gray Cap ridgeline heading down toward, at its base is the Horse Peak area, Blue Diamond Hills over there. So you can basically see the direction we've come from. Okay, onward over to the Southeast Ridgeline and Pinnacle. Here we go. Okay, it took 2 hours to get to Toyota Ridge, and that's really the base of the Southeast Ridgeline, which we will take up to the Southeast Pinnacle. We'll circle around the lower side of that pinnacle. So yeah, we're going to see how that all works out. We might need to head up this direction once we get higher. We don't know. It just depends what the terrain looks like up there. Anyway, yeah, continuing on up. And why do I call this Toyota Ridge? Here's the reason. The bed of the truck met a horrible demise, and the cab actually is down in this direction. I don't know if we're going to be able to pick it out here. Let's try. Yes, there's the cab. Why the pickup bed and the cab are separated by such a large distance is the reason that I feel this vehicle met a horrible demise. But we're on the approach ridge, so let's continue on up. Now let's take a quick 360. There's the Southeast Canyon. We pointed out the Southeast Ridge and Pinnacle a little earlier. This is looking back toward Blue Diamond Hill. We basically started at near the lower right side of Blue Diamond Hill across the road in the Calico Basin at Jean's Trailhead. Looking at the Las Vegas Valley, pretty much faded out at this hour, but boy, it's going to become brilliant later. Then here's Summerlin Ridge, Gottlieb, and Little Red Rock, and then back to the Southeast Canyon and Southeast slope of Damsel Peak. Okay, here we are ascending the Southeast slope, and I figured time-wise that the round trip to Jean's Trailhead actually adds only well, maybe a couple hours to the whole experience, but you're parked at a nice secure trailhead as opposed to in a construction zone if you're at Far Hills Avenue. So yeah, what you're seeing is tectonic plate subduction. Look at all these angled plates that have been elevated to 45-degree angles. These were at one time the bed of an ancient sea, limestone, which is the sea bottom, and it dead shelled organisms fell down to the bottom of the sea, integrated into the mud, provided some real um, cement action, calcium, and then the mud hardened into this limestone, and then tectonic plate subduction action raised this up to a 45-degree angle. And you can see the same angle of these plates continues all the way up, even to the Southeast Pinnacle. So we're going to be crossing a lot of these plates. I'm going to wear knee pads because, yeah, while there's good traction on these plates, if you slip, it's like a cheese grater. So here we go, continuing upward. This looks like another potential way up to the top, but we don't know. From this distance, it looks okay. It may be vertical, but maybe circling around the lower side of that Southeast Pinnacle is going to be vertical too. We don't know. So we get up there and pick our poison. Look at the plates we've got across. And they get taller and taller as you ascend. Okay. And the Southeast Pinnacle itself is a plate. Was at the bottom of the ocean once. You see it's at the same angle as the rest of these plates. And then looking around. One thing about this route is that it ascends very quickly. Wow, we're looking down now to the base of the canyon. And here we can see more of the canyon and its surrounding walls on the opposite side. And boy, yeah, there is no easy way up to the Southeast Pinnacle and Southeast summit of Damsel Peak. Continuing to ascend the southeast slope, as you can see, it's not as gradual as it looks from a distance, definitely. We're looking down to the canyon below. And here's the upper end of Far Hills Avenue down in this direction. All the construction you can see. Las Vegas Valley, the background. We'll point those out later when the sun's in a better position. Here's the Southeast Canyon. And wow, it doesn't look like there's a whole lot of options here. Now, this is a wall you will need to cross. And so the whole question is look for a nice ascent point up the wall. And what I'm seeing is right over here, you can see where you enter right at this spot, then angle to your right, on up, and that promises to get us to the top of the wall and over. But we'll see. We're going to try that. You can see that, yeah, there are some other options, but nothing I think that is as good as this option over here. So let's just give it a try, see if we can get over this wall. And again, everything around here was once horizontal, bottom of the sea floor, and you see how it's all tilted. Look at this. And you can see successive layering. It makes it quite a challenge to ascend. But if you take your time, watch your step, it's all class 2 and 3, probably closer to class 3, which means that there are a number of places where you have to use hands also, in addition to your feet. And there we're looking at a little red rock. Okay, I've got about an hour and a half to get up to the southeast summit. That's my turnaround point if I don't make it up in an hour and a half. So let's just see what we can do. You definitely don't want to run this thing. Yes, that route I suggested just a moment ago got me up and over. I did try another route that looked like a nice little crack, except I ended up somewhere up there and had to back climb because it was just a move that was too exposed and not enough holds. So I came back to the one that I'd originally mapped out, which is this. And so, yeah, it worked great. Now you can see we're at a higher level. And looks like a pretty straight shot up to the Southeast Pinnacle. Southeast Summit is beyond. So yeah, I lost some time on that last little excursion, but you know, I still got to the top of this wall, which for me is an accomplishment. Okay, onward and upward. Well, we've navigated over a few more ridge lines, and I wanted to see what it looks like on the far side of the Southeast Pinnacle, and here we have it. It looks like it's possible to continue up on the right side of the Southeast Pinnacle. No promises yet. I haven't done this before, but it doesn't look horrible. So I'm going to continue up this center slope, look for an opportunity to cross over to that gully and continue up. And I may hit a dead end up there. Do not know. If I don't, I've got a good chance of making it to the Southeast Summit. So let's continue to explore this upper side of the Southeast Pinnacle. Here we go. Oh, by the way, before I do that, let's just get a 360. You can see we are in a very steep territory. Beautiful trees here. Look at this juniper, how the trunk is sculpted. But yeah, very, very steep. Hopefully I can get over to the Southeast Summit, because once I get up there, I've got the saddle to the northwest summit, and then it's a much more gradual descent. So that would be nice. But there's some challenge on the way up still. Let's just see what we find out. Well, I've been continuing and aiming at the upper side of the pinnacle up there. And it looks like I've reached a point. The whole thing has been, you know, what's the easiest way down into this gully? Because this gully looks like the ticket for ascending. And I think we need to go around the left side of the cliffs up there to get to the summit. But it looks like this might actually be a good point to meet up with the gully. It almost looks like there's a little trail here. Somebody has traveled this before. You got to look really carefully. But wow, look where we are. Looks like I'm in crow territory or ravens. I don't think they're real happy I'm up here. Okay, so let's see if we can hit that gully and then continue ascending and perhaps along the lower edge of the cliffs up there would take us up and around. We don't know, haven't been here before, but it looks like a possibility. So onward. Yay, we're above the Southeast Pinnacle. Yes! There's a sweeping view of the Vegas Valley below. And over to Gas Peak at the north end of the Vegas Valley, right there. I don't know if I can do a complete 360. Let's give it a try. And yes. There's the route up to the southeast summit. Boy, I'm running out of time. Not looking forward to retracing my way down this chute. Wow, that'd take a lot of time. Ooh. I think getting up to the southeast summit is an easier, quicker route home because then I go up to the northeast summit or northwest summit. But wow, yeah, we still have a ways to go. So let's continue. Okay, I'm at the southeast summit. It's this rock right here, or maybe it's around the corner. There's the Southeast Pinnacle. And now you can see the Vegas Valley coming into sharper definition. Entrance to Brownstone Basin, lower entrance. And where I started from, Gene's Trailhead down here on Calico Basin Road. Oh my gosh, that's a long way. So the question now, can I get around the corner here and navigate to the northwest summit? If so, we've got it made. If not, oh my God, heading back down the way I came is just super challenging and would take a long time. And if I can get around the corner here, it'll be a lot faster. So let's see. Looks like there's a high road and a low road across the summit. I am on the high road. The low road is, oh, let's see if we can find it. There's the high road. Low road down that way, but the more I look at it, I don't know. I was going to say the high road looks like the way, but you know, I'm just not sure. Let's continue across here, see what we can see. Boy, I hope I didn't need to head back the way I came. But anyway, yeah, now we see opening up before us upper Brownstone Basin. There's Brownstone Basin below us. So yeah, it's very beautiful up here, but also a bit frightening because you're right on the edge of a sheer drop off. These plants don't seem to mind. Okay, yeah. So skirt this upper area without sliding down. See if I can get over that little saddle there and hopefully see a way down. Wow, let's hope. Here we are on the saddle between the north and the south summit, northwest, southeast. Wow, not a lot of room for error up here. There's the southern summit. And I think the northern summit is over this way, which means that those gradual escape routes are on the other side of the northern summit. So yeah, let's continue on. Yeah, I've got an hour to get to the northern summit and then head downward. Or I will be out of time, but gosh, if I'm out of time, I don't know what I'm going to do. Snow up here this first week in March. Wow, look at the canyon below. Oh my gosh. Okay, got to get over to the northwest summit and then find a way down around the other side. Okay, let's see what happens. Back to the southern summit, which is over there. And then here's a little stretch of that cliff that you see from Brownstone Basin. Sheer cliff there. Northern summit. Can we navigate around the base of that summit? I don't think I want to go up to the summit, but navigate around the base. We're running out of time. And see if we can make it down a slope on the other side. Wouldn't that be nice? And then there's Little Red Rock. Northern Vegas Valley. It's Gas Peak. And at the base of Gas Peak, Clark County Gun Range, that triangular shaped area. And then over to the Sheep Range. Little La Madre over here. Wow. We got a lot of ground to cover. And then there's La Madre Mountain on the right, El Padre on the left, then El Bastardo further over. Turtlehead Peak right in the center. Rainbow Mountains behind. There's Potosi Mountain. And way down there, Calico Basin, our destination. Wow, I hope we get down there sooner than it took to get up here. Blue Diamond Hill. That's just beautiful up here. But we've really got to get moving. You see all the trails down there in the Brownstone Basin. Okay, we need to get over to the northern summit, skirt the base of it, and find a way down the other side. Here we go. Another 360, northern summit, closing in on it. Brownstone Basin below, Trailhead Peak on the opposite side. And wow, look at this. Yes, sheer cliff over here. Southern summit, then over to Little Red Rock. Okay, continuing on, running low on time. Well, don't ask me how I got here, but here we are, the true summit. We're on the northwest summit of Damsel Peak. And there you can see across to the southeast summit. We'll get a better look in a little bit, but as long as we're on this side, here's what you can see over here, the La Madre Mountains. Brownstone Basin, Trailhead Peak, Rainbow Mountains in the background, Gray Cap Ridge. Oh, here's Red Cap. Yeah, Gray Cap Ridge down here. Brownstone Basin below. Boy, I'd love to be down there. Okay, let's take a look over here. Summit box for Damsel Peak. Let's see if we can get a look at the southeast summit in the saddle. Yeah, there you have it. Oh, let's get around a little further. This is an amazing peak. A lot of people don't know about it. And now you can see the route that I took across. There's the saddle. Southeast summit. Southern Pinnacle is on the other side. You can't see it. But wow, what a traverse. And on the edge of eternity, take a look at this. And like I said, if you've seen Damsel Peak from Brownstone Basin, you know it's a sheer cliff on the Brownstone Basin side. And yeah, snow on the peak. So yes. Oh, there's where that reservoir is on the other side of those upper Calico Hills. Speaking of Calico Hills, yeah, from Red Cap over to the Calico Basin over in this direction, where I need to be before the end of the light today. Oh my gosh. Okay, so yes, awesome circuit. wilderness immersion. And we'll look at potential descent. I have descended down in this direction. There's a nice slope, kind of gradual at first, then you head over to Brownstone Basin. That's really steep, but what I'm going to do is I want to check out the slope that ends at Little Red Rock. We'll check that out in a moment. Okay, 1:30. It's actually 1:32. My goal was to be here by 1:30 and hopefully make it back to my starting point in Calico Basin at 5:30, which would be sundown. The route downward is much more gradual, so gonna make better time, but we've got a long way to go. Going down to, you see the gradual slope ahead there. We're going down to Little Red Rock, circle around, and then end up back at the Southeast Canyon opening, and then navigate across and over back to Gene's Trailhead in the Calico Basin. So let the races begin. Okay, I'm coming down this slope. Yeah, it's not as gentle as I thought it might be, at least not down here. But look at where it lands, right down on the trail that circles Little Red Rock. So yeah, we're heading down to that trail and then circle around Damsel Peak to the point of the Southeast Canyon, and then on around across Brownstone Basin to Calico Basin where we started. Okay, just landed on the road that goes through Little Red Rock. Actually, that's going to be in this direction. I was hoping to be here 15 minutes earlier. It only took me an hour and 10 minutes to get to the bottom from the summit by this faster route. So yeah, heading down this road, circling around Damsel Peak. I can run this pretty much, so we'll make up some time. It is now 2:48, and we've got until about 5:30 with light, and so 2.5 hours. See if I can make it all the way back in that time. It's downhill all the way, so let's see what we can do. And by the way, yeah, here we are. There's Little Madre in the center. And then you can see it's either La Madre or El Padre up in this direction. And here is Gateway Peak. And Gateway Peak and El Padre, La Madre, all have adventures on Las Vegas area trails. And now so does the Damsel Peak end-to-end adventure. So awesome. What a day. Okay, let's let the races begin again. Okay, now we are circling the base of Damsel Peak. We're circling through the Little Red Rock area. I had set being at the mouth of the Southeast Canyon by 3:30. I've got another 25 minutes to go and running at this point, so there's a chance. What I said about the brilliant lighting, look at this. Now you can see more clearly. There's the Red Rock Casino, and there's the strip. Look at that. Pretty amazing. Okay, got to keep running, make some good time, get to the mouth of that canyon in another 20 minutes. Looking back, I have entered Little Red Rock, passing through. This little scooter has been here for about 3 years now. But continuing on, this looks like on the other side of that huge ridge is the Southeast Canyon. So we're making good time now. Onward. Another shot of Little Red Rock, looking back. And there's a lot more to it than this. But like I said, the formations are huge. So continuing on toward the mouth of the Southeast Canyon. 3:30, pretty much at the mouth of the Southeast Canyon. There it is. And there is the Southeast Summit and the Southeast Pinnacle. The pinnacle is below to the left. And now we connect with some roads, and our target is Blue Diamond Hill. We aim for Blue Diamond Hill, but we circle a few hills before that, including Horse Peak. But yeah, looking good. I was hoping to be back at this point at 3:30, and it is indeed 3:30. So that's looking good. Look at this. There's the strip. And Red Rock Casino. Then Summerlin Ridge. And Gottlieb. A little bit left of Little Red Rock here. So now I'm going to go down to the road here and then begin to work my way across the Brownstone Basin and back to the Calico Basin. So I may actually make it in the light. We'll see. Depends on how much time I spend on the video and camera. I've got a little over an hour of light left, and it looks like, yeah, what I need to do is head down to the edge there of the ridge on the right and then circle around, and that should take me back to my starting place. There's the strip. Beautiful lighting. Summerlin Ridge, Gottlieb, Damsel Peak, and the Southeast Pinnacle and Summit. The pinnacle is on the right. The summit is on the left. We were up there not long ago. And now what we need to do is cross Brownstone Basin. So here we go. Okay, so far 13.6 miles, so much for 30 miles. Yeah, it helps to have a really accurate app that'll tell you exactly how many miles. So 14, about 16 miles will be the total. So what's left is to round Horse Peak, which will be the next peak after this ridge. If I can have just one more half hour of light, I may finish in the light. I think that we're looking at a half hour to go. And wow, what a day this has been. Damsel Peak, end to end. From the southeast pinnacle and summit to the northwest summit, and then that dangling traverse of the saddle with the huge cliff drop off. In fact, let me show you that drop off. Yep, there is the cliff. Saddle's right above that cliff, and the southeast summit is the high point on the right. Northwest summit, I'm not sure if you can see it, but it would be, I think it's that high point on the left. So what an awesome experience. And yeah, we came up the southeast ridge, circled around the backside of the southeast pinnacle, then headed up to the southeast summit, which is to the left, and then over across the that narrow catwalk with a cliff drop off over to the northwest summit. So yeah, what an amazing day this has been. So I'm going to round this corner, and then the next ridge is going to be Horse Peak. We'll round Horse Peak on the left side on the Half Wilson Trail, same as the approach, and then hopefully be back at the Beast in the light. We'll see. Onward. And there's Horse Peak. It's just a matter of rounding the left side on the Half Wilson Trail and then navigating back to our starting point at Jean's Trailhead. Wow, Don't you just love how things are lit up in the evening by the setting sun? Yeah, I really need to finish getting back, so I'm not going back in the dark. But I just can't get over this, how beautiful it all is. Okay, let's head for the left side of Horse Peak. Here we go. Okay, rounding the corner, you can see Gene's Trailhead ahead. We made it in the light. That's pretty awesome for the first week in March. But what an awesome day. So let's see, let's zoom in on that beast. And there it is, I think. Anyway, yeah, back at the beast, and what an amazing day. I think that Damsel Peak end to end is definitely a must do. In fact, let me know if you do it and what your experience was. And there's Blue Diamond Hill and the Rainbow Mountains and the Calico Hills, and then Gene's Trailhead. And yes, we made it back to Gene's Trailhead in the light. And here is the beast waiting for us. I don't mind taking this longer approach to Damsel Peak because the car is in a nice protected spot. In addition, I don't have to go through private property. So there's the beast. We made it up to Damsel Peak end to end.